from the space of oneness with the Guru, from the space of oneness with Paramashiva himself. He never ever gloats or has any wrong perception about himself. Now we'll be witnessing the darshan in just a few hours. And before that, let's see exactly what is our possibility with this demonstration of the Shaktis of Paramashiva.
Yes, so now with me, I have this I-band. And this I-band is certified by ophthalmologists. And in front, it is just thick opaque plastic sheet. And in the back, thick sponge, also you can see. And this will not allow any type of light to enter around my eyes, near my eyes. And usually it says that without light, one cannot see. So this will be covering all the light around my physical eyes. And with the grace and blessings of Swamiji, through my third eye, I will be reading any comment that any of you put in the YouTube comment section. So this I-band will be put on my eyes. It will also cover the bridge of the nose, and in these two holes, my eyes will be going into. So this I-band will be put on my eyes by a volunteer. And then any of you watching us live on YouTube right now, you can put your comments in the YouTube comment section, and I will be reading the YouTube comments. You can put anything you would like, a sequence of emojis, numbers, letters, words, anything, even if it does not make sense. So yes, now a volunteer will be putting this I-band on my eyes, and all of you can see as she puts it. You see them move a little to the left. Yes. So now the I-band has been put, and I will be turning to my right, left, up, and down. So all of you can see that the I-band is put properly, and there's no gaps anywhere around my eyes. And now anyone watching us on YouTube right now live, you can put any comments you would like me to read in the live YouTube comments, and we will also be projecting the comments for all of you. The comments are going to be projected. All of you can post anything you would like. It can be a sequence of emojis, numbers, letters, words, sentences. It can even be something that does not even make sense. So the last comment we have is from Prabjot Gill, who has put, "Ma'am, my friend would like a body scan, and he would like to know how he can get a stable life and manifest what he wants." And above that, we have Prabjot Gilaya, who has also put 3 smiley emojis with its eyes closed. And then above that, we also have Paramashanta Dharma, who has put 3 Om emojis with purple backgrounds and 3 nose emojis. Yes. And anyone else who would like to put in your comments, you can put it in before we move on to the next power. So now I have this book with me. It is Uncommon Answers to Common Questions. You can stop the screen share so everyone can see it. Yes, so I have this book with me. And now I'll be opening a random page in front of all of you and be reading the page. So I've opened a random page, and now I'll be reading the contents of this page. This is page number 70 and 71. And next to 70, it says the simple truth straight away and On page number 71, it says the same thing, the simple truth straight away. And so all of you can see this is page number 71 and 70 and 71. And now I'll be opening another random page. Okay, so I've opened a random page. And now I'll be reading the contents of this page, any paragraph. So this is page number 134 and 135. And on 134, it says body's structure or anatomy, such as X-rays, CT scans, or MRI, PET, produces images of the functions of the brain through the metabolic activity of cells. An analog of glucose is attached to a radioactive PET tracer. The PET scanner then images the metabolically active brain areas at any given time. So that is the first para, and it is actually a continuation of the para on page number 133. So all of you can see. Yes, and now with that, do we have any more comments? Okay, so now with that, we will now be going into the next power, the power of body scanning. So I request the volunteer to now remove the IBAN. Yes, so all of you can see the IBAN is just as it was before. There is nothing added or removed from it. And now we'll be getting into the next power, the power of body scanning. So this power of body scanning awakens the ability to scan any type of illnesses, diseases, or medically diagnosed issues for anyone. And it also awakens the ability to also scan the problem. So it also gives us the ability to scan the solution for the problem through the awakened third eye. So the Shastra Pramana for this power of body scanning comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshma tarani cha tattvani yani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para. And in this verse, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest consecutive principles of your whole body, Swadeha, or the whole universe simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause Paramashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi Adi Shakti, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. And the next, the Apta Pramana for this power is from the life of a Siddha named Thereya. And he was one of the prominent disciples of Agatya. So one day, a man suffering from severe headache comes to Agatya, Rishi Agastya, for healing. And Agatya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a small therai, a type of frog, sitting in the person's brain. And Agatya immediately instructs Thereya, his disciple, to perform an open head surgery and remove the frog. And after the surgery is completed successfully, the person is cured and healed of the headache, thus gaining the name Thereya. And the Atma Pramana for this was revealed by the Supreme Pontiff himself on the 22nd of December 2019. So Swamiji shares how he uses the power of body scanning, paraphrasing his words. Only when I had the multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore for medical checkups related to that. At that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in my different organs. It was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used diagnostic methods instead of medical facilities to study the body condition due to the poisoning. Through body scanning, I found out what the problems, imbalances happened, and what balances had to be done, where balances had to be done. I used allopathy as a second opinion to verify my findings. And all of you can see the Sakshi Pramana, which are the experiences and results of the manifestation by the initiate disciples. So here are a few sharings of few of the thousands of disciples who have successfully manifested the power of body scanning. And with that, all of us now will be entering into the Sakshi Pramana, the live demonstration of this power of body scanning. So anyone who would like a body scan can put your comments in the YouTube comment section. We already have Prabjot Gilaya who has asked for a scan for his friend. Prabjot Gilaya, I would just like to confirm if we have your friend's consent to do the manifestation. Okay, so you have put you would like a body scan. So yes, Prabjot Gilay, now I'll be scanning for your friend. And once it is done, Ma Pooja Kumar, I will also be doing a scan for you. Yes, so Prabjot Gilay, for you, for your friend, I was able to see that he is going through a lot of confusion in life. He's physically quite fine and he's quite fit. I was able to see he just is going through a lot of confusion, which is distracting him a lot from what he actually wants to do. So I was able to see the solution for this is to everyday watch satsang and at least one click that he gets from the satsang or from the Parashakti Akash Greens or anything. Any satsang, even if it's a live satsang, he can watch it on NTV. And if he's not available at the time when satsang is playing on NTV, then any satsang which is on YouTube, he can watch a satsang, get a click, and throughout the day, in any action he does, use that click, and that will help him come out of the confusion. And with this, he will also see stability happening in life, and he will also be able to manifest the reality that he wants. So this is what I was able to see for your friend Aya, Prabjot Gilaya. So you can convey to him and get back in the comment section. And Ma Pooja Kumar, now I'll be doing a scan for you. Yes, so Ma Pooja Kumar, for you, I was able to see, Ma, that there are some heat boils forming on your body due to lots of heat, and also there are some rashes also and itchiness which is happening, and heat boils are also being created inside your body, not only outside. The solution which I was able to see for that as the best solution was to drink more ginger water and also tulsi water and have Hayata Kumanai. That will help in healing your body. And you can also eat more fruits. This will also help you in getting healed for removing the heat and also preventing more heat to get accumulated. So this is what I was able to see for you, Ma Pooja Kumar. You can get back in the comment section if you are able to relate. And yes, Ayush Divan has asked for a scan, also a solution for baldness. Yes, I now will be doing a scan for you. Yes, so Ayush Divan, for you, I was able to see that in your throat you are going through some pain. You are having some pain and some burning sensation in the throat. So I was able to see the solution for that is to drink honey in the night after your dinner, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes before you go to bed, or 10 to 15 minutes after your dinner, anything. And the solution for your baldness, I was able to see that first you have to become confident of yourself. And after that, can you should apply oil, and you can also I was able to see that it is actually because of incompletions that um, the balance is there. So do intense completion with your family, friends, and with yourself first, and that will help you in uh, getting healed. And yes, with that, in the interest of time, we will now be moving to the next segments of this program. I see Ma Weasley Silva has asked for a scan, and Ma Dharmodaya has also asked. Today, in the interest of time, we will be moving to the further segments. Yes, even Ma Mahatma Charitra has asked. Today, in the interest of time, we will be moving on to the further segments. But every day at 2 a.m. IST and 4 p.m. IST, we will again be having these power manifestation segments and various other segments where we will be learning about Devi Parashakti, and we will also be having the power manifestation. So you can, any day you can again join us and request for body scan, and we will be more than happy to do a body scan for all of you. So I thank all of you who have joined us for this power manifestation segment. And with that, we will now be moving to the further segments of this program where we will be learning who is Devi Parashakti and more about Devi Parashakti. So we'll be first looking at who is Devi Parashakti in the segment about the divine feminine consciousness, which is none other than Devi Parashakti herself. And as we get ready to receive Devi Parashakti when she comes for darshan, we will also be learning how we can receive Devi Parashakti in a very traditional way. So we'll be first looking at the Dhyana Shloka of Devi Parashakti, which comes from the Lalita Sahasranama Dhyana Shloka. So now I will be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Devi Parashakti, which is mentioned in the Lalita Sahasranama Dhyana Shloka. Sinduraruna vigraham trinayana manikya mauli spuratte taranayaka shekharam smitamukhim mapina vakshoruham पानिभ्यामलिपूर्ण रत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थ रक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परमम्बिकाम्. And the translation for this is, the Divine Mother is to be meditated upon as shining in a vermilion body, with triple eyes, sporting a crown of rubies, studded with the crescent moon, a face all smiles, a splendid bust, one hand holding a jewel cup brimming with mead, and the other twirling a red lotus. And another Dhyana Shloka of Devi Parashakti, which is also mentioned in the Lalita Sahasranama Dhyana Shloka. Arunam karunantarangatakshim dhrutapashankushapushpabhanachapam animadibhiravritam ayukaihi vibhavaye bhavani. And in this verse, it says, I meditate on the great Empress. She is red in color and her eyes are full of compassion. She holds the nose, the gourd, the bow, and the flowery arrow in her hands. She is surrounded on all sides by powers such as Anima of the days, and she is the self within. And Devi Parashakti is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. Parashakti is the cosmic mother. It is her cosmic womb, the Brahmanda unit from which billions and billions of universes manifest, And it is where the Big Bang and black holes go on. And Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source energy, the source power, from which all of us came, in which all of us are in even now, and in which all of us are going to merge. And out of her extreme love and compassion, Devi Parashakti herself is manifesting through the embodied form as the Nijavatara of the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to our prayers, giving boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, and future, delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. And in the words of Devi Parashakti herself, Devi Parashakti beautifully reveals how she is manifesting as the Nijavatara of the Supreme Point of Hinduism. So she says, raising as Omkara, expressing as Vedas and Agamas, blossomed as Hemkara, filled as Parashodasi, living in 40 triangles, the Kailasa Swamini who is in Kailasa, Sri Purachintamani, Parashodasi, sitting as part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nithyananda, I took Nijavatara here, to give good boons to everyone, to bestow all goodness. Hiranya Garbha Swarupini, Brahmanda Yoni, Shami, Chandramauli, Rapala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Savitri, Navayavana, Samrajya Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi. Taking the form of Nithyananda, I came here as Nijavatara. With great compassion and blessing, listen people, to do good to all of you, I took the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nijavatara. And Devi Parashakti also continues. She reveals, she again says, raising in Omkara, blossoming as Shiva, Shiva manifesting as source of existence, powers of existence, expression of existence, from the oneness of Om, blossoming into two as Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as three Shaktis, Icha, Kriya, and Jnana, growing as four Vedas, expanding as five Panchabhutas, beyond six chakras, filled as Gotras of seven Rishis, expanding as 8 directions, existing as 9 grahas, blossoming as 10 indriyas, being as 11 rudras, creating all the worlds, bringing life to tell and make truth blossom and to do good. Parashodasi, Meenakshi, in the form of Nithyananda, I came to bless every one of you. And now let's see how we can receive Devi Parashakti. So as all of us get ready to witness a live Devi Parashakti Akashakti today at 6 a.m. Indian Standard Time and 5:30 Pacific Time. Let us now see how we can receive her in a very traditional way. So literally you are seeing Paramashiva and Parashakti at that moment on the screen. So always receive her very traditionally. You can keep 2 betel leaves, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and a coin in front of the screen as you watch the Parashakti. And for those of you who now might be wondering what exactly a coin is considered as, or what is its importance? So in the Hindu tradition, a coin is actually considered the traditional dakshina, and it is usually offered in all temples as an offering to gods. So it can be the lowest value. In India, it can even be just a paise, and in the US, it can even be just a cent. Swamiji says, I'm not trying to monetize. Keep even 1 cent, it is okay. So for 100 days, if you have darshan, it will add up to $1. In India, even 1 paise is okay. And you can offer that to Devi Parashakti. And once the darshan is over, you can offer your salutations. You can do namaskar and eat the banana, the betel leaf, and the betel nut, taking it as prasadam immediately. And the coins that you collect, you can send it to the LA temple for the further procedures. And now some of you might be wondering, how exactly will this betel leaf and betel nut benefit you, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally? How will it benefit you? So this betel leaf and betel nut may look too small, but in a few days, you will see how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take the Devi Darshan for granted. And rituals will break your monotonous unconscious mentality and lifestyle and remind you and raise you to powerful cognitions. It will break your unconscious behavior. And now all of you can see how you can set up your tambula, the plate to receive Devi Parashakti. So you can arrange the betel leaves, the betel nut, the banana, and the coin in a plate and keep it in front of the screen as you receive Devi Parashakti. As additional items, you can also keep a coconut, some kumkum, some turmeric, some glass bangles, and some flowers. You can also keep all of these in the plate as additional items. But the four basic items that are kept as part of the tambulam is the betel leaf, the betel nut, the banana, and the coin. So you can keep it in a plate. You can arrange it in a plate. Keep it in front of the screen as you receive Devi Parashakti when she comes live for the darshan. And with that, we now come to a conclusion of this segment where we have learned who is Devi Parashakti and how we can receive Devi Parashakti for the darshan when she comes live. So with that, now we will be moving to the next segment of this program where we will be learning what Devi Parashakti has exactly revealed, what exactly Devi Parashakti has revealed in the Akashic readings for humanity, for all of us, and how important it is for us to understand, follow, and internalize what Devi Parashakti has revealed. So as we get ready to have a live Devi Parashakti Akashic readings at 6 a.m., let us see what Devi Parashakti has revealed and get ready to receive much more from Devi Parashakti today in the Akashic readings. So please stay tuned for the further segments. We will be back after a really short break.
Nithyananda, welcome back, dear viewers. Sorry for the technical glitch. So let's enter into this next segment and understand some of the revelations made by Devi Parashakti for humanity. And let us understand how we can use them to guide our lives. Yes, we can go to the next slide, please. We can continue to the next slide. So humanity is still, sorry, we can go back to the previous slide. Yes, we can continue on. Sorry for the technical glitch. We can continue on to the next slide. Yes. Yes, we can continue on. Yes, you can just press the arrow button. Huh? Yeah. Great. Perfect. We can go to the next slide. We can continue on. Yeah. So as we all know, we can go back to the previous slide. We can go to the previous slide. One more back.
It's skipping, Ma. Give me a second. And please.
Yes. Very good. Yes, we can go to the next slide, please. Yes, this is good. Thank you. So as we know, humanity is still undergoing the after effects of the cosmic deluge, the pralaya. Thousands of deaths due to the global pandemic and the emerging fungal epidemic, along with the record numbers of natural disasters, have taken a huge toll on humanity's collective psyche, leading to an increase in poverty, malnutrition, depression, and mental health issues. We can continue to the next slide. So let us understand what has caused this, who is behind this, how could we have avoided this, and what is the solution for this? In this segment, let us go through an analysis of Devi Parashakti's revelation on the cause and solution of the pralaya. So all of us know that the world is deeply suffering from this ongoing pandemic for the past 1.5 years. And over the course of this pandemic, over 4 million people have already died, and the number of cases has crossed well over 175 million. And the worst affected countries are US, India, and Brazil. And the number of cases of COVID-19 in India alone has crossed well over 29 million, and the number of deaths due to COVID-19 has crossed well over 374,000. And the number of people fallen into poverty since 2020 has been over 75 million. And these numbers are considered to be severely underreported. So the actual situation could be much worse. And India is not just suffering from this global pandemic, but a depression and mental health epidemic that is seriously affecting the country, with 6.5% of the population suffering from some form of mental illness, and with a suicide rate of over 10.9 for every 1 lakh people. Suicide is one of the biggest causes of death in the age group between 15 to 24, and India is considered to be the 6th most depressed country. And as India is reeling under this ongoing pandemic and the suicide epidemic, they have also been suffering from ongoing natural disasters, everything from the floods in Kerala to the floods in Maharashtra that have recently affected the state. And as all of this is going on, the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic is soon to be approaching. So how could we have prevented this? How could we have avoided this? Yes, we can continue to the next slide. Let us listen to Devi Parashakti's revelations on the 31st of May, 2021 to understand a little bit more about this.
வரை இந்தியா செல்ல வேண்டாமா என்று கேட்கின்றாய். நன்றாய் தெரிந்துகொள், சொல்வதை புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக.
Was that Ma? Did you say anything?
You can just stop the screen share and you can restart and share the audio. So as we wait for that video, let us understand that Devi has been continuously blessing us and continuously manifesting just for the sake of healing and guiding humanity through this Pralaya. And again, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is manifesting Devi Parashakti today at 6 a.m. IST. In just a couple hours, we will have the opportunity to ask Devi Parashakti any question that we want answered, any prayer that we want blessed, and any boon that we want to have in our lives. So you are welcome to stay tuned for that and ensure that you ask your questions in the YouTube comments below. As the live Parashakti Akashic reading is going on, you can post your comments and ask whatever prayer or question that you may be having. You can also ask on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp as well. So do stay tuned and ensure that you get all of your questions answered and ensure that you have all of your prayers blessed. So we can start the slide share again. The volunteer to restart the slide share with the audio. Thank you, Mom.
2022 வரை இந்தியா செல்ல வேண்டாமா?
We could just
2022 வரை இந்தியா செல்ல வேண்டாமா என்று கேட்கின்றாய். நன்றாய் தெரிந்துகொள்,
stop the slide and reshare, and you can choose the option to share audio as well when you stop the slide share. So you can just restart the slide share and you can press share audio when you restart the slide share.
அதை புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக 2020 பாரதம் முழுவதும் 12 ஜோதிர்லிங்கமும் பாத யாத்திரை செய்திடவே என் மகன் மூலமாய் திட்டமிட்டிருந்தேன். படுபாவிகள் ஓடத்தின் மாலுமியை ஊர்விட்டு துரத்தினார்கள். என்ன நடக்கிறதென்று பார். முறையாக கைலாய நாட்டின் தலைவனாக நிறை மரியாதையொடு நல் மதிப்பொடு என் நிஜாவதாரம் நித்யானந்தன் திருவடி மீண்டும் பாரதத்தில் பட்டு பாத யாத்திரை செய்த பிறகு மட்டுமே நீ அங்கு செல்ல வேண்டும். அதுவரை உன்னை காத்து செல்லாதே. ஓம் Om. Om.
Yes, we can continue to the next slide, please. We can go back to the slide. Yeah. So as we get back to the slide, sorry for the technical glitch. So the Supreme Concept of Hinduism revealed that in 2020, the Supreme Concept of Hinduism was planning to do the Padayatra throughout India and re-energize the 12 Jyotirlingas. Let us look at the translation. For this huge Kirmi Bhojanam held not to come to India. In 2020 itself, I had planned to do the Padayatra throughout India and the 12 Jyotirlingas through my son Swamiji. They chased the captain of the ship out of the country. See what is going to happen. We can go to the next slide. So let us see what the Supreme Concept of Hinduism revealed as the vision for the Padayatra. And the Supreme Concept of Hinduism revealed this in 2017 itself, 3 years before 2020, before the pandemic ever happened. And it was solely to ensure that the re-energizing process happens and to ensure that this whole pralaya does not occur. Let us watch that video. If we can go back to the previous slide, please. You can go back. No issue. So let us just watch that video of the vision that the Supreme Concept of Hinduism had for this Padayatra that was taking place in 2020. So in the video, the Supreme Concept of Hinduism reveals that the vision for this Padayatra was to traverse from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. We can go back to the previous slide, Ma. We can go back. That's the back arrow. So the vision that the Supreme Concept of Hinduism had for this Padayatra was to traverse from Kanyakumari to Kashmir with 10,000 power manifestors to meet people where they are. The Supreme Concept of Hinduism was ready to go on ground and was ready to attend people in their own home. And yeah, we can go to the next slide, please. Let us watch that video of the vision of this Padayatra. Yes, we can press play. Thank you so much.
Want to do 1 year Padayatra specially for this purpose in 2020. 2020, planning for a full year. I'm going to walk from Rameshwaram to Amarnath. 1 year with 10,000 people, just walking all over India to spend time with people. 2020, there will not be any program other than Padayatra and just spending time with people. Just walking. Of course, 10,000 people will be walking with me. Maybe 200 vehicles to carry our food and all the other items, transportation. Enjoying the river banks, forests, and time with nature. 10,000 people manifesting powers, walking from village to village. What do you think will happen? The scene of Buddhism spreading will be repeated now. How the Buddhism spread. 10,000 monks walking from village to village. What will happen? That's only monks. Here power manifesting 10,000 people. The whole village will be manifesting powers. Just want to enjoy India and let India enjoy me. So planning for next year Kumbh Mela 2019, next year January Kumbh Mela. Before that, all the Balalayam, everything. Balalayam is going to be like the same structure outside with one stone tower, gold coated. It will be something like a 40 to 50 feet tall stone tower, and 5 Rajagopurams, which will be something like 120 feet. This will be the Balalayam. And after the Mulalayam is built, this Balalayam will serve as a Utsava Murti Sannidhi, where the Utsava Murtis will be worshipped and where the Archanas. See, in the main temple, there will not be any Archana or anything, because just for Darshan itself, there will not be time. Like Tirupati, you can only have Darshan and Arti, the camp for Arti. No other worship is allowed in the main temple. Because 12 Abhishekam is going to happen, 12 Kala Abhishekams. So continuously the rituals will be going on. People can have only darshan. They will not be able to involve themselves in any ritual. Other than darshan, nothing else will be allowed. So all the archana, all the other offerings, like people will offer the archanas and other, everything will be done to the Utsava Murti, which will be kept in the Balalayam, the present Balalayam, present structure. So people can spend time here. That will be more like a main darshan. This will be like energy darshan, where you can give letter, get response. So by next year, the Balalayam will be ready. So 2019 full year, I will be conducting the programs and everything. 2020 will be the one full year Padayatra, walking. From next year, Jayanti, means 2019's Jayanti to 2020's Jayanti. Full year, Jayanti to Jayanti will be Padayatra. Before that, we will make 10,000 people power manifestors. It will be sannyasi, brahmachari, grihastha, all put together. 10,000 people will be walking. What a scene it will be. I think that is the only way the revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma can be done. I need to get into the ground where people can see me, where they are living. I can't be waiting for people to come where I am living. Now I am sitting in one place to prepare these 10,000 people and make this science completely user-friendly. For that only I am sitting and working. So I have given 2 years for me now, 2018 and 2019. So 2020, before that 10,000 people will be ready to walk with me, manifesting powers. We will literally solve every person's problem in every village. The way we are walking, the path, route we are taking, physical healing or mental healing, or it's a too big visualization. How will you visualize? What will happen if 10,000 power manifestors enter into a village and ask people, tell me your problem now, come on, let's sort it out. Understand, 1,200 years before in Tiruvannamalai temple carvings, how the baby will be in the womb in 2nd month, 3rd month, all that is detailed way carved, it is there. Which scanning machine was there in those days other than the third eye? Very detailed carvings are there. Even Srirangam temple, the whole carving is there. Srirangam temple gives a week by week the whole picture of male baby and female baby. Any of you have seen that? Srirangam Rangaraja Mandapam, it very clearly portrays. There will be one Rangaranga Gopuram. In that next to Rangaranga Gopuram, there is a Rangaraja Mandapam. We have already collected some chunk of 80-90 to be displayed in this Balalayam. Work is going on all of that. We are also going to tell you the science of temple building story as per Agama and as per practical village level, ground level, all that. In those days, 2000 years before, when this Cambodia and all these civilizations were flourishing, two community from India moved. One is agriculture community, another one is business community. These two community only traveled and installed civilization. Of course, kings went, that is different. But the common civilian, these two community only went. So Nagarattar and Saivavelalar. Saivavelalar agriculture community, Nagarattar business community. So wherever, see, when they go in the ship, the Saivavelas, they will carry that veil for their protection. Once, if they reach the other side safely, they will just put the veil and start a temple. That is why all the temple outside the India, started by Saivavelalar, there will be only veil as a Pradhana Murti. Pattumalai Murugan Goil, Tannimalai Murugan Goil, Gedaram Murugan Goil, Nallur Murugan Govil, Sannidhyan Sannidhi Murugan Goil, all these temple. The main deity will be only veil. It will not be deity. Because they cannot carry that heavy deity in the ship. It will only be the veil. And all the temples started by Nagarattar will be Kavadi. Because they will carry everything in the form of Kavadi. So the moment they reach the other shore, they will worship the Kavadi and the screen cloth covered by Kavadi. Kadirgaman, Darachila, Murugan. All the major temples started by Nagarattar. The Kavadi and the screen only will be the deity. All the temples started by Saivavelalar, only the veil will be the deity. So this is the way the temple started. This temple planting and temple spreading. We are going to tell you all this history also as like a exhibition when you come next time to see our temple. There's a lot of juicy information on history of temple building. That's going to be one of my big contribution also, this temple building science. I'll be known for common mass for my Gurukul and temple. Common mass will never understand all this Vidyapadam and life is continuous rhythm, Sami Onnada, all that. They will remember me only as the Gurukul kids do all magic. That magic Gurukul and big temples. The Swamiji who builds big temples, that's why they will remember. பக்தன் சோழனும் பையன் பாண்டியனுமே இதை பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கானுங்கன்னா நாம என்ன வேலை பண்ணி ஆகணும்? இல்ல நாமே வந்து போனோம்னு மறந்துடுவானுங்க மனுஷ பசங்க. All these are paribhasha. Paribhasha means, these horse brokers will have their own language. Pari means horse. Paribhasha means horse brokers all over the world, any country. The horse brokers will have their own language to do the negotiation. That is why that word paribhasha got evolved.
Yes, now we can pause.
Even now in Indian villages, these cow brokers and
Sorry about that. So, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed, the vision for this Padayatra was to traverse from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and to meet people where they are, to give them solutions for every problem that they might be facing, whether it's physical problem, psychological problem, emotional problem, any problem. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was ready to meet people in their own homes and to give them a solution. And literally, this whole Padayatra would be like the seed of Buddhism spreading again. And it would see the whole revival of Hinduism across India. And if I could request the volunteer to start the slide share again. So this Padayatra has been something that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been preparing for from, I could request the volunteer to make the slides in full screen. Thank you so much. You can go back to the previous slide, please. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. And since the age of 10, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been enriching people and preparing them for this Padayatra to save them from this pralaya. And from that age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been enriching and initiating the masses into the science of enlightenment through his powerful discourses, initiations, and darshans. And in the next several slides, we will see the various programs that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been conducting for the past 26 years to enrich and bless people with the science of enlightenment. So yes, we can continue on. Yes, the Rasipuram and Rasipuram, Tamil Nadu in 2005. We can continue on. And in Namakkal, Tamil Nadu, in Salem, Tamil Nadu, in the Nithyananda program. These are the various programs that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been conducting. The Birth Star celebrations in Tiruvannamalai, the Jayanti celebrations in Adi Kailasa Sarvajñapīఠam, the Jayanti celebrations in Tiruvannamalai, the Nithyananda Swarna program. And in all of these photos, you can see how many thousands of people were in attendance for each program. The Guru Purnima celebrations in Adi Kailasa Sarvajñapīఠam, the Bhakti Swarna program, the Dhyana Swarna program, the Little Anandas program, which was a program specifically for the youth to be initiated into the science of enlightenment. The Sapta Yagam in Salem, Tamil Nadu, which was a series of homas, which you'll see in the next few photos, conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism not only performed the homas himself, but also guided 1,008 other people to perform these same homas. So you can move to the next slide. See the photos of those. Yes, you can see the devotees and disciples performing the homa, guided by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself performing the homa. Here are more photos of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blessing people. Here you can see the next photo is the Nithyananda Swarna program conducted in Adi Kailasa Sarvajñapīఠam. We can continue on. The Nithyananda Swarna program in Salem, Tamil Nadu. And all of these programs, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was continuously conducting and performing so many different services for humanity just to enrich them and to ensure that they are preparing themselves for this pralaya, to ensure that this pralaya does not happen, to give the superconscious breakthrough to humanity. However, the anti-Hindu elements made it nearly impossible to do this re-energizing process by driving the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism out of India. And Devi Parashakti revealed the solution for this on the 31st of May, 2021. So let us watch that video now.
இரண்டாயிரத்திருபத்திரண்டு வரை இந்தியா செல்ல வேண்டாமா என்று கேட்கின்றாய். நன்றாய் தெரிந்துகொள், சொல்வதைப் புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக 2020 பாரதம் முழுவதும் 12 ஜோதிர்லிங்கமும் பாத யாத்திரை செய்திடவே என் மகன் மூலமாய் திட்டமிட்டிருந்தேன். படுபாவிகள் ஓடத்தின் மாலுமியை ஊர்விட்டு துரத்தினார்கள். என்ன நடக்கிறதென்று பார். முறையாக கைலாய நாட்டின் தலைவனாக நிறை மரியாதையொடு நல் மதிப்பொடு என் நிஜாவதாரம் நித்யானந்தன் திருவடி மீண்டும் பாரதத்தில் பட்டு பாத யாத்திரை செய்த பிறகு மட்டுமே நீ அங்கு செல்ல வேண்டும். அதுவரை உன்னை காத்து செல்லாதே. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
Let us understand what the Supreme Pontificate that Devi Parashakti revealed through the Supreme Pontificate of Hinduism, that the Padayatra, that the Pralaya would only end in India when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is received back in India with great reverence and with respect, and as the head of Kailasa nation, and is able to perform the Padayatra again and do the re-energizing process of the 12 Jyotirlingas. And only then we will see the end of Pralaya in India. And as we look around, we see so much of suffering, so much of destruction, and we can understand what the great rishis of the Vedic civilization had forewarned as this Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga is considered to be the worst of the 4 yugas, where man will be his own worst enemy. In the Kurma Purana, it states that, we can look at the translation of this verse. In the next slide, please. In the Kurma Purana, Sage Vyasa echoes that this Kali Yuga is the worst of the 4 yugas. In all the world, people are sinful and forget the dharma of the 4 Varanas and the 4 ashramas. In fact, men are so sinful that no prescribed penance atones for their great sins. The only place which is free from such sins is a great sacred city of Varanasi, the Mahapuri. And it also states in the Kurma Purana that Lord Rudra, Paramashivoham himself, is the avatar for this Kali Yuga. And the translation of this verse, Brahma, is a presiding divinity or Devata for the Krita Yuga, the first cycle of time. In the Treta Yuga, the second cycle of time, it is Bhagavan Ravi, in which appeared Sri Rama. In the Dvapara Yuga, the third cycle of time, the presiding divinity is Vishnu. And in the Kali Yuga, the fourth cycle of time, the presiding divinity, the avatar, is Rudra, Lord Maheshwara, Mahasaratva himself. And on the 2nd of January, 1978, out of his deepest compassion to protect humanity, Paramashivoham himself descended into the human form in the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda. And if the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, if Paramashivoham himself, had waited even one more year to take the human form, it would have been too late for humanity. 1979 would have been too late. Let us understand what this means in the words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself.
And I tell you, O Hindus, don't be afraid. I am back with the same signs. We are going to be rich. It is not lost. Just the last minute climax before it was going to be put off. have happened. (1979) would have been late. 1979 would have been late. If I had time, I would have sent only ambassadors. Because no time, I have to get up and come directly. O Hindus, feel blessed. Science is not dead. It is available. I have everything needed to bring that science back to life and establish its legitimacy.
And the avatar's advent on the planet Earth was to protect the world from this great cosmic deluge, to bring the Satya Yuga back to Earth. We can continue to the next slide. Let us understand in Devi Parashakti's own words what this means.
ஓம் 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 உலக மக்களே கேளுங்கள். கலி முற்றி கலி கழிந்து புதுயுகம் சத்தியயுகம் புறப்பட வேண்டிய காலம் வந்ததனால் வந்திருக்கின்றது இந்த பெரும் பிரளயம். கவலை வேண்டாம் மக்களே. நித்யானந்தன் வடிவம் தாங்கி நாமே இங்கு வந்திருக்கின்றோம். நித்யயுகம் செய்வோம். நித்யயுகம் சத்தியயுகமாய் மலரும் இங்கு. ஆனந்தமாக இருங்கள்.
And the translation of Devi's revelation. People of the world, listen. Kali Yuga has matured, and over time, it has come for Satya Yuga to happen. So this great pralaya has come. Don't worry, people. In the form of Nithyananda, I myself have come here. I will make Nitya Yuga. Nitya Yuga will blossom as Satya Yuga. Be blissful. People of, yes, we can continue. For this huge Halakirimi Bhojam not to come to India. 2020, I plan to do the Padayatra throughout India in the 12 Jyotirlingas through my son Swamiji. And in order to prepare for this, the avatar began the Padayatra at the mere age of 10. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began enriching people one person at a time with the truth from the sacred scriptures and the secrets of higher living. And even as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 14 and 15 years old, all of his classmates recall the Padayatra, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism led them all from Gudiyatham, Tamil Nadu to Tiruvannamalai, the birthplace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and a huge pilgrimage to the site. And when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was around 19 years of age, all his fellow monks at the Ramakrishna Math recall the Yatra where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism led them from Chennai, Tamil Nadu to Tiruvannamalai and gave them an unforgettable pilgrimage trip experience. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continued walking the length and breadth of India, reaching more and more people and preparing each one until the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the international mission, the Nithyananda Sangha, to revive Kailasa internationally on the 31st of December, 1999. And the Supreme Concept of Hinduism established the very first Kailasa enlightenment ecosystem in Tiruchendur, Tamil Nadu on the 14th of April, 2001. And here you can see the photo of this inauguration day, where the Supreme Concept of Hinduism was just 23 years of age. And in 2003, the Avatar continued his Vijay Yatra all over the world to enrich people from various backgrounds. And with the Supreme Concept of Hinduism's intensity and dedication for the people, even among crowds of thousands who don't know English, the Supreme Concept of Hinduism's voice resonated deeply, and his presence moved each one to tears. And in 2004, the Avatar led his disciples on the very first Himalayan Yatra, visiting temples, delivering satsangs, and initiating them into the superconscious breakthrough. And subsequently, the Avatar personally organized and led yatras yearly and guided individual souls, not just to physical spiritual sites, but to supernal spiritual realms. And in 2006, the Padayatras were taken to the next level with the Kodikan Ratha Yatra, with crores participating and impacted by the Nithyanandeshwara and Nithyanandeshwari deities traveling from city to city. Let us watch this video of the Kodikan Ratha Yatra. We can continue the next slide, please. And the Kodikan Ratha Yatra culminated with the consecration and inauguration of the Garva Mandir, the Sanctum Sanctorum, for Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva and Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti, and the Svayambhu Linga at Adi Kailasa Sarvejamita in Bangalore, South India. And these deities were energized as Ajavataras to radiate the energy of Paramashiva and Parashakti to create the Adi Kailasa Sarvejamita as a ship to save humanity from this upcoming pralaya. And the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has created innumerable spiritual energy centers in India as safe havens to protect people during this pralaya, this great deluge. And these three that are shown here are Kailasa in Tiruchendur, the Adi Kailasa Sarvejamita in Bangalore, and of course the Kailasa in Hyderabad. And in 2008, the Avatar created and energized the Nithyananda Vajrasarovar, the Anandalingam, which would protect anyone who bathes in its waters from this deadly COVID-19 disease, because it is a Navapashana Linga and has tremendous healing properties. Let us watch the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself performing Abhishekam for the Anandalingam.
जनमस्सहस्राक्षाय च जगधन्मने जनमो गिरिशाय वजिपिविष्टाय जनमो मीढुष्टमाय च शुमते जनमो स्रस्वाय च वामनाय जनमो बृहते च वर्षीयते जनमो वृद्धाय च संवृद्धने जनमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय जनम आशवे च जिराय जनम शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नम ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च दीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च परजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च प्रगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः स्तोभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्वोप्याय च अवसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय च आशुरथाय च नमः शूराय च अवभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरुथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रवृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिने च शुधिमते च नमः तीक्ष्णे च वेजायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूप्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च भट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईर्ध्याय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्म्याय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ओम नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमः ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शंगाय च वशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे बधाय च दूरे बधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हन्यसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमः तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लात्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नमः ईरण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुनस्तये च नमो गोष्ट्याय च गृह्
And in 2009, the Avatar held another Kodikan Radayatra and garnered international attention, creating a movement where lakhs of Hindus were once again embracing Hinduism.
போல நின்பதம் கண்ட என் மனோ நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே நின்முகம் நீனைந்து இங்கு நிர்மலமாகவே ஆனதே இதய சக்கரம் அனகதமும் இனிமையோடு திறந்ததே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே மற்றவர் கண்டு மறைகள் எல்லாம் கழன்று விசுத்தி அதுவும் அசுத்தியாய் பொறாமையோடிங்கு ஏக்கத்தோடப்பா புண்ணியம் எல்லாம் போனதே எரிந்தவயிரும் ஏக்கமும் சேர்த்து விசுத்தி அசுத்தியானதே விசுத்தியை தீர்க்க விமலனின் பதம் விரைந்து இங்கு வரவேணுமே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே ஆமை பூகுந்த எண்ணகந்தினை பொறாமை பூகாது காக்கவே
Wherever the Avatar's feet have graced the planet Earth, there the seeds of superconsciousness have been sown. And the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has created thousands of Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems and Sadvajnapitas all over the world and has enriched over 1 billion people worldwide. And in the next several photos, we'll see just a few of the various Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems created by the Supreme Concept of Hinduism. The first is the Kailasa and Iro, the Adi Nithyananda Paramashivam, the very first Kailasa enlightenment ecosystem. Continue on. We have the Adi Kailasa Sarvijñapītam in Bangalore, India. The Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai. The Kailasa in Columbus, Ohio. More photos of the Kailasa in Columbus, Ohio. The Kailasa in Los Angeles, California. More photos of the Kailasa in Los Angeles. The Kailasa in San Jose. The Kailasa in Seattle, Washington. The Kailasa in Houston, Texas. The Kailasa in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Kailasa in New York. The Kailasa in Washington, D.C. The Kailasa in Toronto, Canada. The Kailasa in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona. The Kailasa in St. Louis, Missouri. The Kailasa in Oman. The Kailasa in Dubai. The Kailasa in London, UK. The Kailasa in Scotland, UK. The Kailasa in Netherlands. The Kailasa in Slovakia. The Kailasa in Belgium. The Kailasa in Luxembourg. The Kailasa in Austria. The Kailasa in Germany. The Kailasa in Italy. The Kailasa in France. The Kailasa in Switzerland. The Kailasa in Mauritius. The Kailasa in South Africa. The Kailasa in Salem. The Kailasa, in more photos, the Kailasa in Salem. The Kailasa in Hosur. The Kailasa in Patnam. The Kailasa in Varanasi. The Kailasa in Rajapalayam. The Kailasa, more photos of the Kailasa in Rajapalayam. The Kailasa in Hyderabad. And the Kailasa in Kerala. The Kailasa in Gujarat, the Yogini Sarvijñapītam. The Kailasa in Tiruvannur. The Kailasa in Alankulam. The Kailasa in Tambaram, Chennai. The Kailasa in Avadi, Chennai. Another photo of the Kailasa in Chennai. Kailasa in Melbourne, Australia. Kailasa in New Zealand. The Kailasa in Singapore. The Kailasa in Kuala Lumpur. The Kailasa in Guadeloupe, South America. And Supreme Concept of Hinduism has created all of these Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems just to create a safe haven for humanity, to guide them through this pralaya, to ensure that everybody is staying safe, and is to ensure that they are not affected with all of the sufferings of this pralaya. And if you would like to be a part of this Kailasa enlightenment ecosystem and protect yourself during this pralaya, you can sign up to be a part, become an e-Kailashin at kailasa.org. And with this, we will be concluding this portion of the segment. And we'll be entering into the next segment where we will understand how we can connect with Devi Parashakti and how we can receive all of the blessings and grace from Devi Parashakti herself. So let us stay tuned for this next segment where we can learn about the offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti. We'll be right back after a very short break. So in this next segment, we'll just understand how Devi has been continuously manifesting in our lives and how we can receive her much more deeply, much more intimately. We can connect with Devi through these various offerings. And these offerings are not made out of any fear or greed, but rather out of your devotion and love for the divine manifesting in your life. So be sure to stay tuned for this next segment where you can learn about how you can manifest Devi Parashakti more deeply in your own life. And for any offering, there consists of two parts. Of course, the giving, which is on the part of the disciple, and then there is the receiving, which happens when the divine accepts your love and devotion. And of course, Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the Supreme Concept of Hinduism, will accept anything, even a small flower, if it is made with love and gratitude. So stay tuned for this next segment where you can understand more about how to connect with Devi Parashakti.
ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி. ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எலா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை, ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எலா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை, ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எலா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளியே, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் ஓம்.
Nithyanandam, after that short break, then now let us continue the program as we are going forward eagerly in this Devi BHAVASAMADHI darshan. Let us understand the various different offerings that you can make today for Devi Parashakti. We can go on to the next slide. In Hinduism, it's a religion of gratitude and offering your gratitude to the divine. And not only that, but also all the things around you, even the energies that exist inside of you, the energies that exist in the whole universe. And for every person, for everything, for every animate and inanimate object, we offer our gratitude. And there are two types of religions in this world right now: the religions of prayer and the religions of gratitude, where there are so many different ways of simply uplifting yourself and paving the path for enlightenment. In prayer, when we're continuously getting into the habit of asking and asking for more, even in our inner chatter, even in our silent moments by ourselves, we will only be asking for more. We'll never be expressing our gratitude for anything. So in these offerings, understand that is a way that you can consciously build gratitude in your life. Yes. So in the science of the sacred feminine consciousness, it is understood and accepted that masculine and feminine, both consciousness, have to be expressed equally by every human being to be enlightened. Until enlightenment, only the masculine dimension expresses more than the feminine dimension, irrespective of male or female physical bodies. And even the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has explained in detail how this actually works, how awakening the sacred feminine consciousness, it happens in every being, male or female, regardless of the fact if they are, regardless of the fact of their physical gender, but their energies. Even in Devi Parashakti, it's described in the Arunachala Purana how the feminine energy is awakened inside of her. And here we have all of the different aspects that we need to complete inside of us, the 5 dimensions, to achieve enlightenment. Every human being needs to complete with these 5 dimensions to achieve enlightenment. 1 is Putrus, 2 is the Kuladevatas, the 3rd is the parents, 4 is nature, and 5 is Guru. And we have to complete in these 5 dimensions the incompletions that we have, life negativity and adharmic cognitions that lead to misconstrued cause and effect, further leading us in a vicious cycle of more pain, more suffering, and even calamities in the global and collective level. And being sensitive is being aware in gratitude to life. Everything from the air we breathe, from the place to place we sit, the energy that we feel that we exist, and energy to celebrate that we exist. In fact, there are 43 energies inside of us which constitute our very body. And when all 43 are integrated towards dharma, that is what is enlightenment. When they're all integrated towards one purpose and towards the righteousness, that is what is called the completion. And here you can see in a photograph of this Trimeru, which actually is a representation of all the 43 energies within our body, which each are different, represented by different goddesses. Each energy is worshipped as a goddess who is giving us so much, and we worship as literally the mother. Yes, we can go on. And awakening the sacred feminine is a key to enlightenment. When awakened, a man expresses the sacred feminine consciousness. He becomes a revered leader. And when awakened, woman expresses sacred feminine consciousness. She becomes Devi Parashakti herself, expressing power. Sorry, I think we might have gone back. We can go back to where we were before. Yes, and the key to awaken your sacred feminine consciousness is conscious sovereignty. You will see and experience the conscious sovereignty, what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is continuously elaborating as conscious sovereignty when we awaken the sacred feminine consciousness. And out of millions of paths, the easiest, sweetest, and most beautiful of paths to connect to enlightenment and to achieve enlightenment is connecting with the cosmos as mother, Devi Parashakti, the cosmic feminine energy. And each and every one of us will have this inherently inside of us. Whether or not we knew our mother when we were younger, we always, each and every one of us, had the umbilical cord connection. And Devi Parashakti is the one who expresses as Guru all gods and all manifestations of this universe. She can straightaway deliver enlightenment by connecting through the cosmic umbilical cord, the consciousness itself. We can go on to the next slide. The next slide, please. And today, as we're going through the offerings, they are not to benefit the divine, but to close our gap with the divine consciousness. When we achieve completion with the Divine Mother, her infinite powers with her sweet grace starts nourishing all our dimensions through the cosmic umbilical cord. And there is nothing too small or too big that one can offer to connect with the Divine Mother. It has to be from the space of love of a child looking at a mother and handing her what it has to share with out of her deep love and gratitude. It can be a cup of milk or a flower, or it can be a precious jewel to adorn her smiling face or hair. And Vedic rishis have clearly stated the techniques to connect with sacred feminine consciousness, to awaken the same qualities inside of us. One can connect with Paramashiva through oneness, but with the divine cosmic mother, it is only through worshipping her feet with pure devotion that you can connect to the divine mother. Mother worship is the most non-violent, most peace-centered and healing, soothing, sweetest path to enlightenment among all the traditions on planet Earth. And worshipping the Divine Mother includes contemplating, meditating through sacred offerings of mantras and oblations at her feet. We can go on. And why Divine Feminine? Because she is ultimate. And we just saw a beautiful verse from the Rig Veda, and I'll just read out the English translation where it says, I walk as the 11 Rudras, I walk as the Vasus, I walk as Vishnu and other Adityas and all divine forms. I hold aloft Mitra and Varuna, even as Indra and Agni I do, and Ashwin twins too. We can go on. Yes, the next slide, please. And here in this verse, Devi is literally declaring herself as the inner self of all the gods, the divine energies, and she is pervading and all permeating. Now, let us proceed into the various different offerings that you can do to and for Devi Parashakti today. We have first the E-Hundi offering. This is an offering of any amount of money that you want to do. And it could be money, it could be fruits, it could be naivedyam, it could be jewels, it could be anything that you would like to offer. And the hundi is usually a small donation of just a few coins or even $1. I remember when I was younger, whenever I used to go to the temple, even in the US, we always used to offer a few coins, $1 or even $20 into the hundi during when we go to the temple. And that was just a part of the experience, and a very special part, because as us kids, if we remember, we always would ask our parents, can we go and offer in the hundi? And it's just an offering of gratitude that we give at the feet of the divine. And you don't have to worry as if that Devi Parashakti might not accept what you're offering. Maybe it's too small. Again, Devi Parashakti there's nothing too small or even too big. Whenever we're offering to our Divine Mother. And here, Devi Parashakti is described as Bhakti Priya. In the verse, let me now chant this beautiful verse. Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Gamya, Bhakti Vashya Bhayapaham, Shambhavi Sharadaradya Sharvani Sharmadayini. Where it says, Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. She can be won over through true devotion, and she removes all fears. And if there is any fear in your mind that continues to nag at you, that continues to burden your heart, you can be sure that Devi will remove that fear. Continuously, every single day, Devi Parashakti has been giving us darshan, and even twice a day sometimes, Devi Parashakti has come, answered our questions, granted us boons, and there's literally nothing we need to fear. We just have to follow what she says and obediently live happily in her divine lap. That is where the space that she is giving us literally now, especially through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, especially through this Devi BHAVASAMADHI darshan, which is happening every single day. So please do take a few minutes and offer any kind of donation that you want in the e-hundi offering. And you can do this in two ways. One is the YouTube super chat, and the other is the payment registration gateway. And these two ways we are going to go over at the end of the segment. So if you'd like to get to know how, please do stay tuned. If you already know, I'm not stopping you. Please go ahead and make the donation offer out of your gratitude right away. Yes, let's go on to the next offering. We have the Sankalpa offering. The Sankalpa is a very powerful mantra which can align all the energies inside of you towards one cosmic consciousness. We can go on to the next slide. And whatever resolution we have, whether it might be for longer life, for health, for wealth, whatever desire we might want to cause into our reality, we can keep this inside of our inner space and build the space, make the space for it with the chanting of the Sankalpa. So here it says, from the Saundarya Lahari, Japo Japaha Shilpam Sakalam Apimudra Virachana Gatihi Pradakshinya Kramanam Asandhyadhuti Vidihi. So basically that means, let the mantras I chant with the sacrifice in my soul become the chanting of your name. And literally this shows us that any mantra that we chant can literally become a way that we are inviting Devi Parashakti into our inner space. So you can receive the blessings for both the asked and unasked, remembered, and all the forgotten wishes that you might have had, and manifest that with the grace of Devi Parashakti. We also have the Devi Sahasranama Swarna Kasu, a very popular offering amongst all the devotees, where the 1008 names are inscribed into the gold coin, and you can offer this along with the Sri Lalita Sahasranama Archana to the Meru, the Meru, the Sri Meru, which is the feminine consciousness, the representation of feminine consciousness in the three-dimensional form. Then you can literally be blessed with the blessings to manifest and awaken the multiple divine feminine conscious attributes inside of you with this offering. The next offering we have is the Mukta Anguti, and the Mukta Anguti is the finger ring with a pearl. And in the Devi Suktam, verse 30, the English translation reads, let the goddess who brings good fortune, who is praised by gods, who is served by Devendra, who is praised by Devas, troubled by the Asuras, and who is praised and remembered as devotion to all her, to solves all, who is the source of all good in the world, let that goddess destroy all obstacles. In this offering, you can seek the blessings and protection of Devi Parashakti, and she will literally bestow you with the ultimate connection of the cosmic mother herself. We also have the Swarna Padma Pushpa. There's a beautiful verse from the Lakshmi Stutam where it describes the various different Shaktis that Devi Parashakti bestows. Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murte Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Devi who bestows accomplishments and intellect, who showers worldly prosperity. Devi who powers the subtle mantras of the cosmos, I bow down to you, O Devi Mahalakshmi. This offering attracts blessings for positive relationships in personal and business dimensions. Actually, Lakshmi is the deity of wealth and abundance. And even in your most personal life, your personal relationship, you'll see an abundance of a beautiful, loving nature amongst you and so many other people as well, just with this offering and Devi Parashakti's blessing. We also have another verse here with the next offering, the Swarna Meti, from the Saundarya Lahari. And this is a very, very beautiful verse. And I'll just be reading out the English translation for all of you. It says, Lord Brahma, the creator of yours, selects the dust from your feet and he creates this world. The great Adishesha with his 1,000 heads somehow carries a dust of your feet with great effort. And the great Lord Rudra takes it and powders it nice and uses it as holy ash. So beautifully, as you can see, such a way to describe Devi Parashakti, the greatness, even just the dust that is falling from her feet. That is the beauty of and grace, grandiosity of Devi Parashakti. In this offering, you will have the blessings for life of leadership qualities just simply by offering and worshipping the divine lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. And you can achieve this just by worshipping the very tiny grain of dust on her feet. This Metti is a gold touring to worship by, and is worshipping Devi Parashakti by adorning her sacred feet. And next we have the Mang Tika. The next offering here is the Mang Tika, which is the hairline jewelry. And Devi Parashakti is referred as Shuddha Sarvi Varshini, meaning the one who makes the nectar flow from the Sahasrara Chakra, the crown center, to the Agnya Chakra, the brow center, and permeates through all our 72,000 nadis to give us the ultimate experience of the cosmos. The Mang Tika, once again, is a very, very powerful offering that literally can bestow on you the blessings to live an enlightened lifestyle. Yes, and we have next the Pratyakshapada Puja. This Pratyakshapada Puja is such a precious offering that you can make. And here's a verse composed by Adi Shankaracharya, once again, the incarnation of Paramashiva himself that lived almost 2,000 years ago. And he wrote, saying, Yasome gatam dikshudhana pratapaj. Jagadvastu sarvam kare yat prasadhat. Guror agni padme manaschanna lagnam tathaktim 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 tathaktim. And my pronunciation might be a little bit errors, but the English translation says, my repute has traveled in all directions through my philanthropy and prowess, and all the things of this world are in my hands as rewards of my virtues. Yet if one's mind be not centered upon the lotus feet of the Guru, what then? What then? What then? Another, I just love this verse, especially because it's really pushing us to understand the greatness of the Guru. We might have a reputation that we always wanted. Everyone thinks of us the way we want ourselves to be thought of. And all the things of this world are in your hands, your virtues, your riches, everything you feel you have the power. But if you cannot be aligned to your Guru, then what is the point? Really, what is the whole point if we cannot surrender at the feet of the one who's going to lead us to enlightenment and liberate us once and for all? All the virtues in our life then become karma, and we go again into and sink again into this vicious cycle of the bhavaroga, the endless cycle of life and death. And without the Guru, we can never be lifted from that. And beautifully, Paramashiva says in the Guru Gita that the Guru Tattva, the secrets of the Guru and worshipping the Guru is the only way that you can end the bhavaroga, the endless disease of being caught in the cycle of birth and death, after birth and death, after birth and death. You can offer this Pratyakshapada Puja to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and upcoming in just a few days, we are celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi. I invite each and every one of you to stay tuned, even connect with us on the various different social media channels in order to hear the announcements for when and what are the festivities on during this Ganesh Chaturthi Brahmotsava, and when you can offer the Pratyakshapada Puja as well as many other different sevas. We also have the Vastra Seva as well. We can go on to the next slide. The Vastra Seva is the is the offering of the vastram, or the clothes, to the Guru during the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, and it bestows the sweetest path to enlightenment with complete completion and perfection. Yes. So now this is all the offerings that we have available for each and every one of you. And as you can see, we have all the offerings listed out here, and there's several that have different levels as well. So if you feel that you can make the lowest denomination, that you can go ahead and do that. Or if you feel that you can offer a little bit more, then you can do that as well. So you don't need to feel ever that there's something that you cannot do. If you want to offer your gratitude, understand ultimately to Devi Parashakti, it's all one and the same. But it's our gratitude that we are simply offering now. Yes. And now I'd like to briefly go over the steps of how you can make a payment with all the viewers. So we're just about to end this segment. It's always a pleasure to be able to share with each and every one of you the various different the sevas that you can make that can literally save your life, that can bring transformation in your life, bring super conscious breakthrough in your life. So if you're ready to make a payment, and if you want to offer one of these offerings today, please go to the link which is provided. And you can go to this link, the gateway.nithyanandeshwara-hindu-temple.org/NHTLA/product/Parashakti Bhavasamadhi Darshan/Darshan donation. So as it is here, you can go, and it's also provided in the scroll below. Yes, we can go on to the next slide. And you'll see that the page actually leads to the link actually leads to a page like this, and you'll be able to select the drop-down menu. We can go on to the next slide. In the drop-down menu, you'll be able to see all the different offerings that you can make. You can select the one that you want. The next slide, please. And then you can go ahead and review your cart. And I always would add all the offerings that I want to make. For example, when I would like to offer, when I'm starting a new, perhaps a new venture, a new ambition, I want to seek the blessings of Venkateshwara. I always just make that intention, and I always make the offering for it. And it's always there in my cart as my wish list to make an offering. So you can always do that, and you can add things to your cart. Once you are in this page, make sure that as you are proceeding to the payment, that there is only the offerings that you would like to make and nothing else. And the next slide, please. Now we can, after that, you can press on proceed to checkout and fill out your billing details and your payment details. And as you can see here, we have different options for the cards which are accepted in this gateway. The next slide, please. The other option we have is the YouTube Super Chat. If you want to make a donation through YouTube Super Chat. First, in order to do this, in order to even participate in the chat, we invite each and every one of you to join as a member of our channel, of Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. And you'll be able to join us and have so many benefits, including 20,000 plus hours of the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which you can sit through and watch and watch and watch every single day whenever you want. And as well, you can join as a member. And I just like to, if we can go to the next slide, we can see how exactly to join. There's several different levels of the membership, and you can join and make a payment. We can go to the next slide. And YouTube also has other options for payments, such as Google Pay, as well as PayPal. So if you want this option, you can go ahead and make an offering through the e-hundi. And once again, this is the link for the payment. And this brings us to a conclusion of this segment in today's program. And I invite each and every one of you to make an offering today and offer your gratitude to Devi Parashakti. In the next segment, we will be joined by the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnya Peetham administrators, who will be sharing with each and every one of us about the Kailasa COVID care centers that are being run and facilitated in India. More than 13 centers are being run right now, and hundreds of people being protected through the multi-layer quarantine centers, which are being set up and strictly monitored in the in Adi Kailasa, as well as 13 other Adinams, Kailasas in India. And there's from the spiritual routine, to the spiritual energy that Swamiji himself had consecrated in this land, to even the Ayurvedic supplements, the 11-course meal that the residents have every single day, and even the powerful and powerful ambience that they have. There's so many benefits for going to Adi Kailasa right now during this pandemic and protecting yourself and taking this time for spiritual transformation as well. So we'll be joined by the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapita administrators, and they'll be guiding us in how exactly the COVID policy has been working, what are the successes, and we'll be even hearing from some of the residents about their transformation and how thankful they are to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for giving this absolutely free of cost and making it so easy for them to protect themselves, especially when this is the most valuable thing you can think of right now during these extremely strenuous times. With this, we'll now be moving on into the next segment after a quick break.
ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினிவில் உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம். காளியின் ஆட்டத்தை ஆனந்தத்தை ஆனந்தத்தொடு ஆடிய ஆட்டத்தை கண்டோர் உயிருக்குளெல்லாம் இறங்கி குண்டலினி உயிர்ப்பிக்கச் செய்து மாய மனத்தின் இருளை அகற்றி மாயம் அழித்து மங்களம் தந்து குரு பக்தியும் சிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ பக்தியும் பரமசிவ சக்தியும் அளிக்கின்றேன். மனமாயை விடுத்து குரு பதத்தை பற்றுங்கள். நித்யானந்தமாய் நிஜாவதாரமாய் வந்துதித்த என்னை பற்றி வாழ்வில் எல்லா நலமும் பெற்றிடுங்கள். ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் காளி ஓம் சக்தி, ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி ஓம் சக்தி.
ஓம் 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 ஓம்.
Nithyanandam, welcome back. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in this segment, we are going to learn about the Kailasas, the de facto spiritual embassies, which are now COVID care protection centers. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramashivoham Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. If you see the statistics due to the pandemic, across the world, according to the statistics, the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorders during the COVID-19 pandemic. Young adults about 18 to 24 affected 56.2%, and about ages 25 to 49, 48.9% got affected, and ages 50 to 64, 39.1%, and ages 65 plus, about 29.3%. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder, January to June, it's in 2019 itself is 11%, and in January 2021, it is raised up to what it was in 6 months period, 11%. In just 1 month, it raised to 41.1%. And you can see some more statistics of the significant difference between the adults ages 18 to 24. The data shown indicates adults, the young adults are much affected than the older adults. So what employees say, they feel more than half the time at work. What they're feeling, most of them, about 34% say they are tired, and 34% say they are stressed, and 27% say they are burnt out, and 22% say they are discouraged, and 19% say they are distracted, and 17% say they are depressed. So nearly 8 in 10, about 78% say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their lives. Nearly 7 in 10%, that is about 67%, say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. 1 in 4 essential workers, which is about 25%, diagnosed with a mental health disorder since the start of the pandemic. The healthcare workers, more than 60,000 healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19 and 300 have died. Of the healthcare workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression and 45% showed signs of anxiety. The self-reported mental health among the pregnant women, new mothers. So before COVID-19 pandemic, the depression levels were about 15%. And now, during this pandemic, it raised to 40.7%. And anxiety level, what it was 29% before the COVID-19 pandemic, now during this pandemic, it raised to 72%. US cases of depression have tripled during the COVID-19 pandemic. A large study finds a dramatic increase in the number of adults in the United States reporting symptoms of depression during the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of adults experiencing depression in the United States have tripled, according to a major study. Researchers estimate that more than 1 in 4 US adults now report experiencing symptoms of depression. Before the pandemic, 8.5 of US adults reported being depressed. The number has risen to 27.8 as the country struggles with the COVID-19. The young workers hit the hardest. 89% of the young workers, which age group 22 to 25, affected worst, and next to, as the age increases, level 26 to 37, 83%, and 38 to 54 age group, about 73%, and 55 to 74, about 62% got affected. So what are Kailasa's contributions from the Kailasa Department of Human Services? With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa Department of Enlightened Civilization presents Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship, Department of Human Services, and each of Kailasa's temple ecosystems consider the right of happiness to be the highest fundamental right to all humans, in fact, all beings. The ultimate goal for Hinduism and Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the material and spiritual well-being and prosperity of humanity. Kailasa is a place where everything related to superconsciousness is revived. All the sampradayas, a sampradaya is a multiple arms or sects of Hinduism, and each exploring the science of awakening the individual's peak possibility, unique, time-tested, foolproof way. All the sampradayas, all the spiritual ecosystems created for enlightenment will be revived and established in such a way it never gets lost again. They are there forever, serving the humanity. And you can see the glimpses where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tirelessly worked to establish these Kailasa's ecosystems. You can see more and more glimpses, conducting the various programs, the meditation workshop, reviving the temple celebrations. And you can see thousands and thousands of people attending the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's programs. This particular picture that you're seeing way back in 2006, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted a workshop in Chennai at St. Peter College, where the Nithyananda Spurana program, where you see the thousands of people attended this convention, and the various yatras he conducted. The yatras are the spiritual pilgrimages, and the various procession. And this particular picture that you're seeing, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism waving the flag for the thousands or lakhs of devotees on the procession for a temple festival. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is receiving them. And you can see the various rituals. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism leading the peacekeepers of Kailasa by example to take part in the Kara Seva, the voluntary contribution of physical service towards the cleaning or construction of the sacred Hindu temple. At the Adi Kailasa, this picture was taken on 2016. Kailasa's ecosystems are spread across the world, across the continents. Starting from 1994, where Mataji Vibhudanandapuri traditionally handed over the Kailasa in Tirunamalai to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And now you see the rightmost picture where the Kailasa in Tirunamalai receiving visitors and delegates for the Kalpataru meditation workshop and the Shiva Diksha. And Shiva Diksha is a initiation, is one of the most primary initiation of Hinduism. And you can see the various other glimpses where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tirelessly worked to establish the ecosystems of Kailasa. Now you're seeing the glimpses from the Western Hemisphere. The picture that you're seeing is from Kailasa in Los Angeles, California. The temple is the headquarters where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism worked to build this temple, which has a huge 25,000 square foot complex housing over 80 plus deities. It's one of the largest Hindu temple ecosystems in the West. The next is the Kailasa in Columbus, Ohio, the first temple established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism outside of India. The temple physically came into life in just 9 months, and the chief presiding deities of the temple are Nithyanandeshwari Paramashakti and Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. And the deities are the 7 feet tall, made of granite, weighing 6 tons, and their divine faces are personally hand-carved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the pictures that you're seeing are from Kailasa in Seattle, Washington. They're housing the blissful dancing form of Ganesha, the largest living Nataraja deity outside of India. Kailasa in Seattle is also known as Chidambaram of the West. Chidambaram temple is an ancient Hindu temple where Paramashiva resides as Nataraja, the cosmic dancer, and the expansion is the of Akasha, the space dimension. The big toe of Nataraja has also been revealed to be the center of the Earth's magnetic equator. Now we're seeing the pictures are from Kailasa in San Jose, California. Inaugurated in 2009, Kailasa in San Jose radiates the energy of the Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. The chief presiding deities of the temple are Devi Meenakshi and the Shiv Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivalinga and Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva and Nithyanandeshwari Paramashakti, which have been hand-carved, created, installed, and personally energized by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. Meenakshi Amman temple is home to Devi Meenakshi, the divine cosmic mother and the consort of the Lord Sundareshwara, the most blissful and most beautiful form of Bhagwan Paramashiva. Kailasa in the pictures that you're seeing are from Kailasa in St. Louis, Missouri. Alongside the Shivalinga and Nithyananda Ganesha, Kailasa in St. Louis carries the energy of the Tirumala Tirupati. Tirumala Tirupati is one of the most visited, beloved temple of Bhagwan Vishnu, and the temple is the most visited of any religion in the world. So the Tirumala Tirupati of South India is one of the tallest Venkateshwara deities in North America, along with his consorts Sri Devi and Bhudevi. The beautiful landscape nestled among the woods or rolling hills of Missouri stretches over 20 acres. And the pictures that you're seeing are from Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona, the home to over 21 deities, with a temple structure of 2,500 square foot. Kailasa in Phoenix has directly established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Kailasa in Houston, Texas, formally inaugurated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2017. Kailasa in Houston as the Parihara Sthala, that means for all the Navagraha doshas. Parihara Sthala is in which where all ill effects of the 9 celestial bodies are removed. Now the picture that you're seeing are from Kailasa in Toronto, Canada. Inaugurated in July 2011, Kailasa in Toronto is the only Hindu temple in the West with all the 63 Naimanas and the 18 Siddhas residing as deities. The temple deities here are seated exactly as they existentially preside in Kailasa around Paramashiva, the primordial deity of Hinduism. Naimanas are the most endearing, the notable saints of Hinduism, and the Siddhas literally mean the accomplished or perfected ones. And the Kailasa in Toronto is active and alive from 2011 onwards. The Kailasa in Toronto has been blessed to radiate the super consciousness energy of Kailasa. This temple ecosystem goes on providing various temple services to the community, such as Annadan and traditional Hindu ceremonies. And the participants of the Kailasa's ecosystems do practice various spiritual practices, and one of it is the early morning ritual, that is the morning spiritual routine, and in these ecosystems of Kailasa. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, during Devi Bhava Akashic readings, revealed how important it is to join these ecosystems to protect from this pandemic and for the overall health, wealth, and the joy and experience the growth in all dimensions. So on 12th May 2021, Devi revealed that I came as Nija Avatar. I'm blessing you, listen. People, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nija Avatar. People of India, listen, carefully listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened beings comes, and we cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightened beings have to come, they have to live, and it has to flower. Few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save the cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya in Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies rule, the captain has to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadas by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in Navapashana flower. People, whoever comes and dip in Vaidya they will not have death and they will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line, and every day they will come and dip in the Ananda Lingam. On 13th May 2021, Devi continue to reveal that, listen well to my words. For India, I made ship as protection. The Nithyananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidya Sarovar go to Adi Kailasa. O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nithyananda Nija Avatara without confusion and without talking, just as a lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. Scores of people will come there looking for health, Navapashana water feast and medicine, to get health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from the great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if captain is not there, the ship is there. See, when the first world countries closed their borders during a massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its doors to all without exception. The morning spiritual routine. The participants of this ecosystems they start the day with the morning spiritual routine. The morning spiritual routine is the fuel to reach Kailasa. Morning spiritual routine and the chemical changes it brings in you and the healing it does in your system and the biological rhythm it sets in your system. All of them are very important. It is an important fuel for you to experience the multiple dimensions of the universe, spiritual routine and integrity to the spiritual routine. Initiations are completely private. It's between the devotee and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The members of Kailasa's preventive multi-layered quarantine initiative take part every day in the morning spiritual routine here in Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham. The morning spiritual routine consists of the Nithyananda Yoga, Panchakriya, Nitya Prataksha Paduka Puja, and the Kashayam, which is the herbal drinks like neem juice, and the Nitya Satsang by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Morning spiritual routine. Tune your biological clock to the spiritual practices because the chemistry you enjoy inside matters. That decide the kind of plane of the universe, dimension of the universe you are going to experience. Kailasa or Patala, Swarga or Naraka. Kailasa is the place, the highest abode of Paramashiva, vertical time zone, and where Patala is the lowest abode. Swarga is heaven or Naraka is hell. So morning spiritual routine is the direct path to Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, the person who is in love will wait to spend time with the beloved. If you are a seeker, you will be waiting for these 5 hours every day because that is the time you get near what you are seeking closely. A person who is in love will be waiting to spend time with the beloved. A person who is seeking will be waiting to spend these 4 hours because this is the time you get closest to what you are seeking. Your seeking takes shape into the system when your beloved comes near you and if you are tired and the love is gone and dead. So during this routine, if you are bored and your seeking is gone and dead, so you need a thorough overhauling inside you and you need to ask yourself and you need to question many of your answers and you need to bring the pure questioning back to your life. This routine starts with the Panchakriya. The Panchakriya involves the 5 powerful processes to remove toxins and impurities from the system. Just like how we take a shower every day to clean the external parts of our body, the Panchakriya is a powerful cleansing process which cleanses the internal organs of the body. Keeping it cool, these techniques not only cleanse our body but bring peace and balance to our mind and lightness and bliss to our being. After the Panchakriya, you do the morning yoga. When you do the yoga, you experience your entire body becoming Amrita Sharira. That means the body filled with the nectar. It becomes an ecstatic body just by the air without any external touch. Then the morning puja. You experience the space of bhakti, the devotion, the space of surrender that comes to you from this devotion moves you from the I, which is so heavy. Surrender allows us to drop all the unnecessary baggage from the head. One of the beautiful puja in Hinduism is Rudrabhishekam. In Rudrabhishekam, we offer the sacred bath to the Shivalinga while chanting the powerful mantras. The Shivalinga is a deity which beautifully represents the divine. Its form indicates how God is beyond form and formless. We sit down and connect with God by performing Rudrabhishekam. O Sadashiva, I know you are the source of everything. You are everything and you are in this Shivalinga and you are in this body. You are in both. So let me connect with you. let you reveal yourself to me. When we sit in that bhava, when we sit with that context and do the action of Rudrabhishekam, we experience the Bhava Samadhi. The only in Bhava Samadhi can give us the higher taste and higher joy in life. Rudrabhishekam is a beautiful ritual which allows us to experience the Bhava Samadhi of Shivoham, that I am divine. So, morning spiritual routine. A morning spiritual routine. If you just follow this morning 5 hours enough, you will have Vak Shakti, the all Shaktis manifesting in you, because all the obstacles for manifesting Shaktis, the tiredness, boredom, pitta, fatigue, everything will be churned out in that morning 5 hours. The morning puja is the most powerful mandala process, the Shakti Pata, melting your being, and then sitting and listening to the sacred truths. Constantly inspiring, engaging, alive, awakening. Just this morning 5 hours, if you can bring integrity and authenticity, all the obstacles stopping you from power manifestation will disappear. You can perform and all the spiritual practices by yourself, like the morning yoga, Nitya Puja, but there will always be the risk of losing your initial inspiration and excitement after a few days or after a few weeks. Living the enlightenment ecosystem, even if your boredom or tiredness try to pull you down, the Sangha will support you, help you by giving the wake-up call and supporting you to complete your incompletions. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we had at least 10,000 sampradayas, religion, spiritual traditions, keeping this enlightenment science alive. Each Hindu sampradaya is a spiritual ecosystem created for keeping enlightenment science alive. Every monastery, every adhinam, every mutt, every temple, every Veda Patashala, every Sarvajñapita is a lineage, a sampradaya created to keep the ecosystem of spiritual enlightenment alive. Some may be Shakta, some may be Shakta, some may be Yoga, some may be Vedanta, some may be Tantra, some may be Shakta Vedanta, some may be Shaiva Tantra, some may be Yoga Vedanta, some may be Yoga Shaiva, some may be Vaidika Shaiva, all kinds of permutation and combination. Each temple, each mutt, each monastery, each adhinam, each Veda Patashala, each Sanyata Sampradaya is a spiritual ecosystem created to keep the enlightenment science alive, and of that Sampradaya. Join the COVID Care Protection Center. Join now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. You can see some of the glimpses of the ecosystem where at Adi Kailasa Sarvajñapitam, where the glimpses from the members enrolled in the Kailasa's COVID protection initiative as they practice the morning spiritual routine, which is Nityananda Yoga, Guru Puja, Shiva Puja, in the enlightenment ecosystem of Adi Kailasa, Bangalore. The morning spiritual routine makes up the first 5 hours of everyone's day and is one of the most fundamental and vital practice for a seeker. Anyone who are on the path to achieve enlightenment, to achieve the ultimate super consciousness space of Paramashivoham. You can see more glimpses from the spiritual ecosystem, doing the morning spiritual routine. Join the Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Centers are registered now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. Now, let us see the Kailasa's ecosystem, the temple-based ecosystems are now the COVID Care Protection Center. These Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine, they are all multi-layered quarantine to protect each one for the highest measure. The micromanagement of safety measures have taken place, and they are now recognized by the United States and got published in their website, ohchr.org. See, Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine opportunity is available for India during the COVID-19 as a practical solution resulting in health, joy, and bliss. So with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, let's understand in more detail. On 31st May 2021, Devi Parashakti revealed the importance how to join the COVID Care Protection Centers and how the Krimi Bhojanam, that Krimi Bhojanam is eaten up by the worms, is going to happen, and Devi warned to all of us. So let us listen. This particular clip is in Tamil, and we are going to present after that in the translation of this clip.
நீ
சொல்லும் நபர்கள் போடும் சண்டை சச்சரவெல்லாம் எரியும் பெருநெருப்பில் இருக்கும் 2 எலிகள் போடும் சண்டை போன்றது. யார் சரி யார் தவறென்பது இப்பொழுது முக்கியம் அல்ல. உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், எல்லோரும் நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். நன்மையைச் சொல்லுகின்றேன், உண்மையைச் சொல்லுகின்றேன். இந்திய நாட்டில் இருக்கும் மக்கள் எல்லோரும் கேளுங்கள். கருட புராணத்தில் வியாசன் சொன்ன கிருமி போஜனம் என்னும் நரகம் திறந்து நேரடியாய் இந்தியா மீது இடிபோல் விழுகின்றது. ஆதி கைலாசத்திற்கு ஓடிச் சென்று வருமுன் காத்துக்கொள்வது மட்டுமே ஒரே வழி. கொரோனா பெருந்தொற்று கொள்ளை நோய் கிருமி போஜனம் எனும் நரகத்தை பூமிக்கு கொண்டு வந்து விட்டது. அகோர தாண்டவத்தின் ஆட்டம் யாராலும் அடக்க முடியாத அளவிற்கு ஆரம்பித்து விட்டது. புதிதாய் உருக்கொண்டிருக்கும் இந்த நுண்ணுயிரி மைல்கள் கடந்தும் காற்றினில் உயிரோடு இருந்து மற்ற உயிர்களையும் அழித்து உடல்களை தின்னும் பெரும் வலிவு கொண்ட பேரசுரர்களாய் வலம் வர துவங்கி விடுகின்றது. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். வருமுன் காத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், அது ஒன்றே வழி. அதற்காகவே ஆதி கைலாசத்தை திறந்து வைத்திருக்கின்றேன். உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டி விரும்பும் எல்லோரும் ஓடுங்கள் ஆதி கைலாசத்திற்கு. இந்தியாவில்தான் இந்த நரகம் திறந்து உலகெங்கும் பரவப் போகின்றது. கிருமி போஜன நரகம் பூமிக்கு வந்துவிட்டது. மனிதர்கள் செய்த மகா கொடுமைகளினால். அன்னை முன்னின்று என் அடியவரை காப்பேன் சொல்வதை கேட்டு உயிர் காத்துக் கொள்ள விரும்புவோர் வருமுன் காப்பது ஒன்றே வழி என்று தெரிந்து செல்லுங்கள் ஆதி கையிலைக்கு. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
The translation, what Devi Parashakti revealed in Tamil language, that everyone in India, all of you listen, the hell of Krimi Bhojanam, that was mentioned by the Vyasa in Garuna Puranam, has opened and is directly falling on India as a thunder, running to Adi Kailasa and protection. The protection by the joining the preventive care centers. From it is the only way. Deadly corona life-taking disease has brought the hell known as Krimi Bhojanam to earth. The dance of Aghora Thandava, which no one could control, has started. This microorganism that has formed will be alive in air for miles together, destroying other souls. It will eat bodies. It has started roaming as great demons with tremendous strength. Understand properly, prevention is the only way. For that, I have opened Adi Kailasa. For those who want to save their lives, all of you run to Adi Kailasa. Only in India, this hell is going to open and is going to spread to the whole world. The Krimi Bhojanam hell has come to the earth because of the suffering done by the humans. Mother, I will protect those who are at my feet, those who listen to me and wish to save their lives. learning that prevention is the only way. Go to Adi Kailasa. The Krimi Bhojanam or Krimi Bhojana, Krimi is one of the 28 hells. It is hells described in Hindu scriptures, where people are sent to suffer in a pit to be eaten up by the worms. In Garuna Purana, the cosmogony of hell and the nether regions. And also there is a reference in various references in Devi Bhagavata Purana. Devi Bhagavata Purana, chapter 21 on the narrative of hells, and on chapter 22 of Devi Bhagavata Purana on the narrative of the sins leading to hells, and in Shiva Purana, the various references, and in chapter 16, uplift from the hell, the section 5, and in Skanda Purana, chapter 12, redemption from hells, and chapter 2, the merit of visiting Setu, and chapter 30, glory of Danishkoti. The Brahma Purana, chapter 20, hells in nether regions, and chapter 106, sufferings in hell. In Padma Purana, chapter 48, section in the netherworld. And you can see the statistics across the world. The pandemic is affecting millions of people, losing their jobs and increasing in anxiety, mental related disorders, and famine, insecurity. And on the top, now the world's most infectious disease is now airborne. Scientists say now, authorities think also that it is airborne. A quiet revolution has permeated global health crisis. Authorities have come to accept what many researchers have argued for over a year. The coronavirus can spread through the air. That new acceptance by the World Health Organization and the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention comes with the concrete implications. Scientists are calling for ventilation systems to be overhauled by, like public water supplies were in 1800s after fetid pipes were found to harbor cholera. The cleaner indoor air won't just fight the pandemic. It will minimize the risk of catching flu and other respiratory infections that cost the US more than $50 billion a year. Researchers said in a study in the journal Science recently. Avoiding these germs and their associated sickness and productivity losses would therefore offset the cost of upgrading ventilation and filtration in buildings. And the SARS-CoV-2 virus can travel on very small particles that disperse quickly outdoors, but can build up inside. Indoors, these particles can affect people who stay more than 6 feet away. And the hotspot of mask Americans have adopted may provide some COVID protection, but they do not render an unsafe situation safe. Though scientists have been discussing airborne transmission for months, it was only last week that the World Health Organization and CDE made this official. With the vaccine rollout still in its early days across the world, with those officials should follow up this belated admission with guidance that unvaccinated people can use to minimize their risk. In a letter, what have scientists told to the World Health Organization? How does the disease pass from one person to another? The story so far is in recently, on Monday, July 6th. On July 6th, 239 scientists from 32 countries put their signatures on an open letter that said COVID-19 is also transmitted via aerosols. Titled, "It is a time to address airborne transmission of COVID-19 and address to the World Health Organization." They said that there was enough evidence to show that viruses are released during exhalation, talking, coughing, as micro droplets small enough to remain aloft and pose a risk of the exposure at distances beyond 1 to 2 meters from someone who is infected over the 3 to 6 feet recommended for physical distancing from people to avoid transmission. And you can see the various statistics across India and the various states. And you can see the district-wide confirmed cases and the health infrastructure. The home quarantine is not possible in India. The statement made by the Indian government. The Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that the home quarantine is one prime reason for the large number of deaths during the second wave of COVID-19 in Assam. The Assam witnessed the maximum number of deaths, which were the highest single day in the state. Sharma said, "We have seen more deaths cases happening from the home isolation, as several people do not keep oximeters and some do not even read the counts in the meter properly." The Maharashtra government recently announced the decision to stop home quarantine in 18 districts, which show higher COVID positivity than the state's average. The state public health Minister Rajesh Tope said that the decision is taken to ensure better health facilities to patients in districts which are showing higher positivity rate. The Why and the Business Line published an article on why home quarantine is impossible for majority of the Indians. About 41% of the houses have just a single room, which is shared by about 5 persons. About 41% households in India have just one room or don't have an exclusive living room, and about 5 people share such accommodations. About 32% of the households have 2 rooms, and adding to the O's is the fact that only 47% of the household have access to water and within the premises, and 42% don't have a bathing facility within the premises. Self-isolation for COVID-19 is impossible for 40% of Indian families. In order to utilize the India's healthcare infrastructure optimally to manage the expanding fallout of coronaviruses, the central government on 27th April signaled a change in approach from mandating that every person who tests positive for the virus be moved to isolation beds in dedicated hospitals or units. The government allowed home quarantine for those with mild symptoms, and the key additional conditions was that their house should allow for self-quarantining. That in India, it's easier said than done. According to the census 2011, about 42% of Indian households were living in houses where an average 3 or more people were sharing a room. In the context of coronavirus, this challenge of physical distancing is greater in rural areas, about 45% of households, than in urban ones. Only one state, Kerala, is looking relatively dignified on these metrics. And all districts responding to at least 250 cases have anywhere between 34% to 54% household averaging 3 or more to a room. The COVID-19 crisis, where is the space for home quarantine in cities? In New Delhi, the health ministry last week said most of the coronavirus had been asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic and had advised home isolation for such people. It also said that 65% cases across the country were reported from metros and big cities. However, census data suggests, and experts also agree, that following the ministry guidelines on home quarantine is near impossible, particularly in urban households. The guidelines on home quarantine say the person showing COVID-19 symptoms has to remain isolated in a well-ventilated room, preferably with an attached toilet. If other family members need to stay in the same room, it's advisable to maintain a distance of at least 1 meter between the two. When the first world countries closed their borders during a massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its door to all without exception. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reveals that at least 6 months back, I became aware that the multi-layer quarantine is needed to protect people. If you are in India, if you want to protect your immediate family or extended family, anyone who will listen to you, get them immediately to our campuses. The various campuses, COVID care protection centers open across India are the Adi Kailasa in Bidadi, Bangalore, and Salem Adhinam in Tamil Nadu, Tirunamalai Adhinam in Tamil Nadu, and Rajapalam Adhinam in Tamil Nadu, Puduvai Adhinam, Pattanam Adhinam, Sirangapadi Adhinam, and all are in Tamil Nadu, and Sripuram Adhinam, Hyderabad, and Madurai Adhinam, Avatipalam, Huzur, all are in Tamil Nadu, and Baroda Adhinam in Gujarat. Kailasa rushes to help as India finds itself on the verge of COVID-19 third wave. Multiple free COVID care centers opened across India. The various social services offered during the pandemic in Nithyananda, the ecosystems across the India, the spiritual services offered during the pandemic, and the cosmic revelations about the pandemic. The free social services offered during the pandemic across the ecosystems across India, the medical care, they include allopathy, Ayurveda, and the Siddha medicine, and the fire safety equipment maintenance infrastructure to accommodate thousands, and accommodation for multi-layered quarantine, and emergency ambulances and ICU on wheels, personal protective medical equipment, and groceries collected for Annadan and organic farming. Join the Kailasa's COVID protection centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa-care. Now let us see the glimpses how the micromanagement of the multi-layered quarantine. In the aspect of medical team, the Department of Health on COVID protection for the Adi Kailasa Sarvajnapeetham, which is also replicated in all other adhinams. The medical team, the immunity boosters and COVID care, the supplements procurement, the allopathic immune boosters are Zincona, vitamin D, and vitamin C. And through Ayurvedic medicine, the immunity boosters are being provided to protect all the residents of Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham. Steaming once a day with tulsi, eucalyptus, nochi, and turmeric leaves, and all these herbal leaves are taken from the healing trees here in Adi Kailasa. Twice a week, consumption of Kabasura Kundini, a mixture of pepper, ginger, and clove, and other ingredients extensively aimed for boosting the lungs, improving the respiratory system, and treating infections conditions such as cold, cough, and fever. The Neelavemba Kundini is to be taken once a week, and the Agatya Lehyam 5 days, and Tali Sadi Vatakam 3 to 4 tablets per day for 5 days, and the Indugunta Kashayam, then Amritottara Kashayam, both for 5 days, 1 teaspoon with 50 ml of warm water. Then the Sudarshana Gulika once in every 5 days, and gargling with salt and turmeric twice a day, and spiritual routine, which include the Panchakriya, Haritaki, castor oil, neem juice, Pratama Vinyasa Krama, which is the first sequence for the Nithyananda Yoga, and the Trinetra Kumbhaka, the Pranayama techniques, and the Puja. The basic sanitation and safety practices. The disposal of soiled pads, infected material, and the non-biodegradables done through incineration, the RO water systems for drinking water, cleansing and sanitization of overhead tanks, and regular deweeding, maintenance and repair of electrical circuits, and communication facilities for safety of the residents, then the compost pit filling with biodegradables. The diagnosis COVID care quarantine methodology includes the immediately upon arrival to the campus, occupants will be quarantined for 15 days. Swab test, that is RT-PCR test, to be done on day 5 of quarantine. All food handlers to be wearing mask and gloves and keeping distance. The disposal of waste food and to be done with the gloves and mask. Disposal of gloves and mask by the incineration. In case of an emergency, the protective kits ready at hand to take the COVID-19 positive patient to hospital. The hand washing and in infection control. Washing hands as often thoroughly with the soap and water or with alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and the avoid sharing of any items. There's dishes, drinking glasses, cups, eating utensils, towels, bedding, and all other items with other residents in the Adinam. The mask protection is to wear a mask at all times when if exposed to vendors or outside people. The double layer cotton mask should be changed every day up to 24 hours and can be reused after washing with the detergent and sun dried. If it gets wet by saliva or secretions or sweat change, wear it at a dry mask. The wet mask can be stored in a sealed plastic cover and washed with the detergent and reused later. The face shield will be provided as an extra protective wear for people at the gate interacting with the vendors and outsiders. Use of hand sanitizer, hand washing, regular steaming, taking of preventive kashayams, the turmeric, salt water, gargling, and bathing with the washing of clothes with the history of any exposure. If symptoms appear, that is cough, fever, difficulty in breathing, he or he should immediately inform the medical person in charge immediately. The standard operating procedures, the quarantine rules are the first line of quarantine. The people in the first circle who are in contact with vendors, The area of stay conformed to the outermost area where communication with the outside is happening with the vendors, etc. Thus, stay in a well-ventilated single room, preferably with an attached separate toilet. And person should not be into contact with inmates of Adhinam, especially elderly people, pregnant women, children, and persons with comorbidity, that is, people who have hypertension, diabetics, heart problems, asthma, etc. Restrict his or her movement within the area or room, first line of quarantine. The delivery of packages, all parcels received at the gate to be sanitized, that is spraying with disinfectant. All deliveries will be contactless delivery, and wearing of face coverings and hand gloves are mandatory if contactless delivery is not an option or request to the delivery to be left in a protected and isolated plane. The outer packaging of the items product will be disposed before it enters the Adhinam. Packages will be quarantined before being delivered. All the delivery bags, boxes, and containers will be thrown away after transferring the items to their respective places. The surfaces of the package will be cleaned with a simple disinfectant and left to dry. All hands handling the packaging will be thoroughly washed with soap and water and or antibacterial solution frequently. All mail and packaged product, non-perishable, will be left outside for 24 hours before using them. Disinfection with sodium hypochlorite, which is bleach or chlorine, will be used 1 teaspoon of bleaching powder in 3 cups, and alcohol at 70 to 90% will also be used for surface disinfection. Clothes to be washed separately with the detergent and dried. Sharing of items is strictly prohibited. This prevents the spread of the virus. The standard operating procedures, the warning signs include the fever continued for more than 5 days, fever returning in the second week after having been febrile for a day or 2, fever more than 101 Fahrenheit after day 4, and resting heart rate which is over 110 when there is no activity happening, the breathlessness, tightness in the chest. And oxygen saturation, which is less than 94% on the pulse oximeter, and 6-minute walk test record the saturation rate before and after walking briskly for 6 minutes. If the saturation falls by more than 3%, it is not favorable, and less than 90%, it is not good too. So relentless cough, continuous cough, and you can see the in-campus ambulance on wheels. The second line of quarantine, prevention is the best medicine. People who come in as newly will be given a separate room with the toilet facility. Under no circumstances will they exit the room. The designated quarantine person picks up the food, and after the person who served the food, it at a safe distance of 6 feet. The food will be placed outside the door. Monitor the temperature, pulse rate, and oxygen saturation levels once a day and more often if the person is symptomatic. Please speak with the medical team. Take the paracetamol if the temperature is more than 99%, and ensure good hydration. Have a nutritious diet, steam inhalation twice daily, and salt and turmeric hot water gargling twice daily. And monitoring the quarantine, the Ayurvedic and Siddha medication will be given as per the instructions, and doctor will be contacted if there is a worsening of symptoms for specific management, which could be further consultation, investigations, and treatment. Residents will be asked to continue taking medications if they are on any blood pressure, sugar, or heart elements, etc. Doctors will be consulted if comorbid conditions pose a higher risk. Residents on medication will be asked to bring 2 months of supply till the Adinam is able to organize the medications for them. Residents will be asked to take a long, deep breath, pranayama, lie in prone position on the tummy as much as possible so the lungs expand well. If there are symptoms, the person will come out of quarantine after a total of 15 days. The test will not be repeated if clinically well. If there are symptoms, the person will need to be retested and need a medical opinion and necessary investigations and treatment. The common symptoms which will be looked out for are fever, sore throat, fatigue, cough, mostly dry, wet cough in some cases, and body aches, headaches, and loose stools, vomiting, loss of sense of smell, loss of sense of taste, exhaustion, giddiness, fainting. The previous mentioned symptoms will be provided with the immediate evaluation and hospital care. Early detection of these warning signs and identifying the timeline is very crucial for better outcome. These will be monitored very closely and is the most important thing that needs to be done. Identifying day one of symptoms is very crucial in the management with respect to monitoring and treatment protocols. Day one would be when the very first symptom started. Investigate for the possible sources of conduct. All the people who have come in close contact, which is 3 to 6 feet range with the primary case in the last 3 days, need to be isolated separately and monitored for the symptoms as well. Infectivity starts 0 to 3 days before the onset of the symptoms, and the infected person sheds the virus till 9 days. Any of the symptoms in various combinations signal the possibility of COVID. Even though the same symptoms can happen with any viral infection, in a pandemic, it is to be considered as the possible diagnosis until proven otherwise. Rare presentations are known. They are rash on body, bluish discoloration of the fingers and toes, sudden onset of breathlessness, heart attack, strokes, paralysis of the limbs. Any suspect case should be immediately isolated. The RT-PCR test is to be asked for in symptomatic people immediately. The contact will monitor for symptoms and will get tested if any symptoms show up. Else, to wait for 5 days. If they continue to be asymptomatic, they can check their status thereafter. A negative report ensures they can move into the community. The instructions followed by the lead, only an assigned member will be tasked with the taking care of the quarantined person. Use disposable gloves when cleaning the surfaces or handling any solid linen of individual. Washing of hands after removing gloves. No visitor be allowed in the vicinity of the quarantined person, and in case if the person being quarantined becomes symptomatic, all the close contacts taking care will be quarantined for 15 days and followed up for an additional 15 days or till the report of such a case turns out negative on lab testing. Clean and disinfectant frequently touch surfaces in the context of environmental sanitation in the quarantined person's room, that is bed frames, tables, daily with the bleach solution. Clean and disinfectant toilet surfaces daily with the regular household bleach solution, phenolic disinfections. Clean the surfaces, the other linen used by the person separately using common household detergent and dry. The Adinavasis coming into the Adina must take the following medical tests. The result to be sent to the doctor team with the Dr. Atmanenjanama, Dr. Santan Lakshmi, and Dr. R.N. Ma Chandravidya. The medical test are complete blood count with the peripheral smear, blood group type, and fasting and post prandial blood sugar, a renal function test, the blood urea and serum creatinine, and VDRL, HBsAg, HIV tests, and thyroid function tests, and ECG tests, and liver function tests, and lipid profile tests. The medical test and the results, please hand over to your RT-PCR test for COVID-19 taken 2 days before the coming into the Adhinam, and send it to the previous mentioned email, which is projected now, to get a clearance. Medical team will communicate to the admin of the respective Adhinam with regards to the medical status and approved status. Once communicated, the person should come into the Adhinam within 24 to 48 hours of the test. If there are any pre-existing medical issues like hypertension, diabetics, or any other chronic diseases and comorbid situations, please bring in the recent reports and the prescription from the attending doctor. A medical report will need to be filled in by all the new occupants. A legal disclaimer will also be required to be signed. All the people in quarantine will be monitored for temperature rise, oxygen status, and other symptoms during the period of quarantine. Anyone with symptoms should be reported immediately. The designated quarantine person will be responsible to monitor the pulse oximeter and temperature daily. The equipment should be sanitized after every use, and knowledge for the same will be given to the by the medical team. The report of these recordings will be reviewed by the medical team daily. During the quarantine period, certain Ayurvedic and Siddha preparations, steaming, saline, and turmeric water gargle, and other immune boosters will be given by the caregivers, which has to be followed strictly. After 15 days, they can be out of quarantine, and please follow the basic guidelines of living in the Adhinam, some of which are listed below. The smoking, drinking, and drugs substance abuse is strictly prohibited. Consumption of non-vegetarian food is strictly prohibited, and illicit sex is strictly prohibited. And please follow the basic etiquette like traditional Indian clothing, personal and environmental cleanliness, and hygiene. The following measures below will help prevent in the spread of infections in the Adhinam, such as the colds, flus, and stomach bugs. And protect the Adhinavasis. Make sure the workplace are clean, hygienic surfaces, that is desks and tables and objects. Example, the telephones, keyboards need to be wiped with disinfectant regularly to prevent, and promote regular and thorough hand washing by the Adhinavasis, and please keep sanitizing hand rubbing dispensers in prominent places around the workplace. Make sure these dispensers are regularly refilled, and display the posters promoting hand washing. Washing kills the viruses on your hands and prevent the spread of infections. Promote good respiratory hygiene in the workplace. Display posters and promoting respiratory hygiene. Good respiratory hygiene prevents the spread of the infection. Everyone with even a mild cough or low grade fever, which is 37.3 Celsius or more, needs to be monitored by the health personnel with isolation, even if symptoms are mild. They should wear ordinary surgical face masks rather than N95 face masks in their quarantine room. Medications such as the paracetamol, ibuprofen, or aspirin may mask symptoms of infection. Ensure the pre-order sufficient supplies and materials, including masks, tissues, and hand sanitizer for all the people. The travel precautions in case of emergency. Travel outside of the Adhinam must be discussed with the medical department. No one is to leave the premises without approval. The plan of action when someone is infected by the COVID-19 is the plan should cover putting the ill person in an area where they are isolated from others. Local health authorities will be notified, and medical team have a working relationship with a good hospital for any medical emergency. Please note down emergency contact numbers of the hospitals where you may have to shift people to. All the medical team members and the admins will have it when them with them for immediate reference. You can see the oxymeters. Now join the COVID protection centers. Now we have seen how the micromanagement of the healthcare protection to give the protection to the participants of these COVID care protection centers. So join these COVID care protection centers. Register now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. So with this, now let's move on to the next segment. Let's welcome the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the satsang. So please sit straight with your head, neck, and back straight. Inhale slowly and deeply. Exhale slowly, very slowly and deeply. With the space of unclutching, let's start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Continue to chant the Mahavakya and receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with the space of gratitude and a strong feeling connection for the satsang.
Hello everyone, this is Nandini and I'm from Seattle. I wanted to share my experience on why I follow Nithyananda. I've been volunteering at Nithyanandeshwara Hindu Temple and I've been doing a lot of seva here. Um, back in India, usually only men are allowed to touch the deities and do the Abhishekam, Alankaram, and several other deity activities, whereas women are restricted only to certain things. Whereas here in Nithyanandeshwara Hindu Temple, people are allowed to do seva, irrespective of whether they are men or women. Anybody who gets Shivadiksha is allowed to touch the deities, do abhishekam to them and do alankaram to them and enjoy that space. I've been doing a lot of activities like Suprabhadam, Abhishekams, Alangarams, and Palliyarai, a lot of other processes, and I've been feeling really blissful when I do it. So I would like to thank Swamiji for giving such a wonderful opportunity for me to, take part in the temple activities and, be so close to the deities. Uh, Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Nathan Selamutu. I'm from the UK. I'm 19 years old. I'm a full-time student at university, first year. I've come here to Sadashivoham because my dad was talking about Nithyananda and was telling me all the things that he could do to people from around the world, no matter the age. And I wanted to witness it firsthand myself, and which I did the first day, which was absolutely amazing because I saw Mahayoga manifest 4 diamonds out of her mouth, which is crazy. The day after that, we saw the Gurukuls in action, doing the same thing, manifesting all the powers that have been taught from Swamiji. And after that, we started doing it ourselves. I was able to manifest some powers as well. I was able to body scan, read from the banyan leaf, read from the yantra, and I've been able to do it successfully and repeatedly.
My name is Debbie, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I just want to talk to you about a Pradikshapata Puja experience that I had. Actually, it was my very first Pradikshapata Puja. I was in Varanasi in October of 2015 for an Inner Awakening program, so I actually wasn't too far from Swamiji's feet during this puja. I just remember being really excited. Yay, I get to do my first Pradikshapata Puja. This is awesome. They give us all the puja items and get us ready, and we're sitting there, and Swamiji's sitting there on the chair. Ankles are crossed. You can see his feet. So then the puja starts. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be in such a state of bliss, which I was. But the tears just started coming, and they just kept coming. And I was basically just sobbing during the puja, through most of the way, probably 3/4 of the way through the puja. I finally got myself together towards the end. Such a release. I mean, I had no idea that I would actually have that reaction while doing the puja. I had never experienced anything quite like it. And it wasn't tears of sadness at all. And it's just such a beautiful place to be, beautiful space. And hopefully you can someday enjoy that as well. There are many opportunities to do Pradikshapata Puja with Swamiji via two-way video conferencing, which is still very powerful, even though you may not be physically at his feet performing the puja. It's still a very, very strong space to be in. And that's what I want to share today. I just want to share that it's a powerful, powerful ritual, connecting with the divine in that space of gratitude. And I just hope that those of you who have not offered Pradikshapata Puja could actually experience that. Thank you very much for letting me share this. Nithyananda.
Hi, my name is Deva Ananda, and I live in Seattle, Washington, USA. And one of the reasons that I follow Nithyananda, who we lovingly refer to as Swamiji, is because he's taught me so many different things that I can apply to my life on a daily basis. And my life is so much different than it was when I first met Swamiji. It's like I'm not the same person at all. And one of the things is, one of my hidden beliefs before was life is a cruel, harsh place. I really believe that because of different experiences I had growing up in I thought you had to fight to get ahead. And anyway, after spending time with Swamiji, he reinforced what I had already learned, that we're not our body and we're not our mind, but we're a being having a spiritual experience in a body. And he also has taught us that we're divine, we're sparks of divinity. And to actually wrap your head around that, it takes some time. It took some time for me anyway, because I don't think I had really high feelings of myself. And so, you know, just constantly rethinking the way you think about life, the way you think about yourself, takes some time. But once you start thinking about things in a different way, your life, you create a different life. And another thing Swamiji taught me is that existence is showering on us every moment. And that's another thing that was really profound. I was like, existence is showering on us every moment? And I had to actually walk around and think about that for some time and start thinking about it every day and applying it in my life. And then when I started believing, you know, existence is showering on us every moment, then I started seeing different synchronicities and miracles in my life, because it's true. Existence is showing us every moment. But when we have limited beliefs that keep us in a lower frequency, that's the life we end up creating, a lower frequency life. But when we start embracing these higher cognitions, that Swamiji, he's always like several steps ahead of us, but we have so much to learn, keep learning from him, then you create a different life. Thank you. Nithyananda.
Hi, my name is Bharat. My wife is Kalpana. We are from Seattle, Washington. So one of the beautiful technique which Swamiji talked about, I mean, I'll tell you my exact feeling. We went in 2012. I went in 2012 for one of the inner awakenings.